Let's talk about brush shapes. Most common brush shape is the round. Now, I guess I'm going to erase that. Most rounds will come to a nice point like this if they're made of sable. However, if they're made of hog brush, which you would use for acrylic or oil paint, will not point. It'll be a little more blunt. But any sort of sable should point. Next common brush is a flat. Flat has this blunt edge here. Flats are good for making washes or hard edges. You can use them in all media. My favorite brush shape is the Filbert. And the Filbert, I'm actually making my Filbert a little too floofy. Let me try again. The Filbert has a rounded edge like this. This is really nice because it's very soft. And this rounded edge here, which goes like this, is great for portrait, landscape, or anywhere where you want a softer movement of the brush. Part of the reason the round over here is all purpose is because it's very versatile. You can make washes, you can make big movements, and because it comes to this little point here, you can do detail work. Our flat and our Filbert, a little bit more specialized. Even more specialized is the mop. The mop looks a lot like a makeup brush, like a blush brush. It's very floofy. This mop can be used in watercolor to create big, sloppy washes. Sloppy, lots of water. In oil paint, you can use this as a blender. I love using a mop for a blender in oil paint. Another kind of brush, it's pretty common, is your basic detail brush. Detail brush, typically they'll be around, but they come in lots of different shapes. These I prefer cheap, only $1 sign, because they get used up pretty quickly. There's another kind of detail brush. It has a slightly different tip with really long bristles like this. See how long that is? They come to a really nice point. This is called a liner, or sometimes a rigger brush. These are used for lining and pinstriping. If you're doing a lot of detail work in illustration and you want to put some line in there, it's really nice because it creates a long line that'll move all the way through without having to grab more pigment. So these are the most basic brush shapes that you will find out there. Oh, I almost forgot. Everybody's favorite, apologies, Bob Ross. There's another kind of blender brush called a fan. Looks like this, and you'll see fans will come in all different kinds of bristles, and I'll talk about the different bristle types in another video. The fan is also a blender brush, but it can also be used for creating happy trees, right? If you've watched Bob Ross videos, you'll see that he'll often paint happy trees using brush strokes like this, especially for pine trees, using a fan brush. So it's kind of a dual purpose brush. You can use it for lots of different things. Now, something interesting here is that you might think, oh, I have to get one of each. I need all of these kinds of brushes. And that is not true. You just need the brushes that work for you. So for some people, they're only ever really going to use a round, right? So the majority of their brushes are going to be rounds. Other people like me really dig Filbert. I love Filberts. I use these a lot. I use rounds a lot too. I don't often use our friend the flat, but it's so standard, especially for laying washes, that you might want to try it. So my suggestion to you, try all these brushes. Identify which ones work best for you, and then invest in a series of sizes for the brush that you like the best.